Hey guys, Tolu Anime here, and this is Tea Talks. So, as last year, I had a lot of friendship issues. Guys, I've cried because of friends. I've laughed because of friends. I've been broken and built because of friendships. Like, I've had experiences with this whole friendship drama, okay? And I think that the one question that would be on the mind of anybody who is having friendship drama right now is, do I try to fix things, or is this a sign that we're not even meant to be friends in the first place? Like, anybody who is not maybe fighting with his or her bestie, you guys are keeping malice, you're throwing hurtful words at each other. The one question I think may be on your mind is, how do I know, like, am I supposed to make up or break up? So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a few signs that may help you identify a toxic friendship and make a decision, like if to fix things with the person or if to break up with that person. And then at the end of it, we're just going to talk about what to do about toxic friends. Like, if you've identified that this relationship is toxic, this friendship is toxic, then what do you do about it? Am I qualified to talk about this kind of stuff? Maybe not, but then I'm a human being and have little knowledge here and there. And I guess that when I give you that coupled with the stuff you know already, you could actually get something out of it, right? Okay, so let's get down into it. What are few signs that will help you identify a toxic friendship? Now, to do that, you will need to answer a few questions. Question 1: does this person pick fights with you over every petty issue and always blames you? Like, you have a friend that picks fights with you over really small things, like, why did you wear a blue skirt instead of pink? Why did you smile instead of laugh? Why did you cry instead of wail? Like, petty stuff, not huge normal misunderstandings that friends have, and they walk through that. No, like really petty stuff, and the person always blames it on you. You're always the bad guy, you're always the victim, you're always the one that has to apologize. The person never apologizes, the person is never wrong, the person never admits to anything. It's always your fault, you're always the problem, it's always about you, and it's always something petty. The typical picture is that you guys are like friends for 1 week and then you are fighting for 4 weeks. Like, there's always something to fight about. The person always picks on something. There's something to fight about, and it's usually something that it's something really petty, and many times you are the problem. It's always about you. If you're in that kind of relationship, girl, you are in a toxic relationship, in my opinion. Number 2: does the person take God's place in your life? Like, would you rather chat with the person about how your day was and how your cats are doing instead of pray? That is, if it's your prayer time and you're already ready to pray, you're prepared and you're already worshiping, and somehow you're with your phone and the person's message pops in, are you like going to dump prayer to like go talk to the person? Okay, it's not necessarily a toxic relationship, but then you are trying to get stuff from people that only God can give. It's God that fills the void of companionship and all of that kind of stuff. So when you don't get things right with God, you put unnecessary pressure on other people to be what they can't be. And sometimes you are the toxic person. So you may need to like take a break from that kind of relationship to fix your stuff with God and then come back, because you can't love until you've experienced God's love, and you can't experience God's love if you don't open up your heart to Him. And you won't open up your heart to Him if you don't go to that place of intimacy. So if you have a friend who literally takes God's place in your life, it may be necessary to break things off. Just take a break and go fix your stuff with God first. Number 3: does this person blackmail you emotionally? Like this typical always sad, always depressed friends that threaten to kill themselves if you walk away. Like, they threaten to harm themselves, they threaten to jump down Third Mainland Bridge or one of those funny stuff if you walk away. Like, they just have a problem, they're so depressed, they're so down, and many times it's not like something is wrong with them. They just have maybe these insecurity issues, they're very jealous, they're the really jealous types, and they try to trap you in all of that kind of stuff. If you feel like you're in such stuff, then it's toxic. In my opinion, it's toxic. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, and if you have to be with a person out of pity, that's unhealthy. That's from a really unhealthy place. You know what? You're not a rehabilitation center for anybody. You're just a Christian, and your job as a Christian is to pray, I think, right? So you can pray for the person, and you don't have to be close to the person to pray for the person. Prayer does not have, like, prayer is not Bluetooth. Like, you guys don't have to be close to each other before the prayer works, right? So you can pray for the person without being with the person. When you think that's toxic, and you don't have to put yourself under such pressure, you need to get yourself out from that kind of pressure. So the next question, do they hurt you with words? Like, do you have this friend that always says something bad, always has something bad to say, always has something negative to say about you? And they're the typical people that say something like this: I'm just a blunt person. I say it the way it is. I don't mince words. If it's white, I call it white. If it's black, I call it black. Not big deal. I'm just a blunt person. Leave all that talk. Oh. These people are very toxic people. They hide under the disguise of being very blunt, saying things the way they are, to poison your soul. If you have somebody who never has anything good to say about you, always something toxic, always complaining about the way you dress, complaining about your family, complaining about your other friends, just complaining about the church you go to, complaining about your pastor, just as far as it has to do with you, complaining about your hairstyle, complaining about the kind of shoes you're wearing with your clothes. Like, how could you mix that kind of color? Like, the point is, you can say the truth, but many times it's not what you are saying, it's how you're saying. I watched this video on Mpumi Ledwaba's YouTube page, and there's a video she did with her husband. They talked about communication, and one thing her husband said is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So sometimes they're telling you the truth, yeah, no doubt, but how the person says it to you is very important. So if somebody always has something toxic to say about you, girl, it's a toxic friendship, in my opinion. And finally, does your friendship make you sin against God? And I'm just going to hit this thing. I'm going to be real right now. If it's this opposite sex friendship, like you and a friend, you guys are opposite sex, and you guys are having sex, like you are fornicating with each other, babe, cut it off. For me, I think that trying to stay in such thing and working it through is like trying to negotiate with sin. It's like going to touch the tail of the devil and hope that the devil doesn't hurt you. It's crazy. For me, there's no working out sin. You don't have a covenant with that person. You're not married to that person. So you have no obligation to stay and work things through with that person. You know how you're all like, because people come to me and they speak to me about this kind of stuff, and they're like, I don't want to go. I just want to stay and see how we can work things out with each other. Like, we can just work things out with ourselves and see. You can't work sin out with another sinner. Like, sinner in quotes, because, well, you're in Christ and you wear Christ's righteousness, right? But then you need to work out your salvation. So you work out your salvation. You don't do it with somebody else. You don't need to work hand in hand with your sin partner under the guise of friendship. So for me, I feel like there's no negotiating that. If you guys are already sinning, like if this person is literally pulling you down always, that you can see that every time you try to step up in your relationship with God, the person pulls you, I think you should cut it off. That's that for me. So in my opinion, these are toxic friendships. So now that you've identified a toxic friendship, what do you do about it? How do you deal with toxic people? So just before we get to that, if you're getting value from this video, please click on that subscribe button below. So how do you deal with toxic people? For me, I think the first thing you need to do is to take a break. Take a break. Like, go be by yourself. And if you can't stand yourself, if you can't stay with yourself for a period of time, then you've got a problem. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the toxic person expecting something from another person, expecting another person to fill a void in your heart. And that's not a responsibility you put on any mere mortal. So if you can't stand yourself, there's a problem. And I'm not talking about the fact that you live alone, whether you go to school all day and then at night you're tired, you cook. Like, intentionally making a decision to just withdraw, be by yourself. So I advise that you just take a break and just go be by yourself. Go stay with yourself. If possible, cut off social media platforms. Sometimes when I feel like I'm very overwhelmed with social media, I freeze my apps. I just recently got to know about freeze, and it's a blessing. So I just freeze my apps. I can freeze and unfreeze. There's a word like unfreeze, right? So I think that you can do that. Tell the people who are important to you that they need to reach you. They can reach you some other way. You're just not online. You're not available. Like, just be emotionally unavailable at that time. Take a break and go be by yourself. Go breathe. Let your hair go down. Like, just go and be by yourself. Go and stay by yourself. That's for me. That's number one. Number two, I think that you should walk away. And sometimes when we say walk away, people feel that it's synonymous to stop loving the person. And that's usually the problem, because it's so difficult. This is somebody you've loved, so how do you just stop loving the person just like that? It's It's crazy. How do you just do that? So when people just say you don't cut off, don't have it, forget the person, forget about the person, don't think about the person, it's like, yo, that's not real. I can't really. But I feel that you can live with all the love you've got. You don't have to stop loving the person. See, loving somebody means you are like God. It's never a bad thing. Okay, that the human nature got into the whole thing and messed it up doesn't make love in itself bad. To love somebody means that you will have the attribute of God. Like every man has an attribute of God, has an aspect of God in him, even those that are unbelievers. So that's why they can exhibit certain traits that look like God. Like, really, you love because God is love and you are like him. You are like love. So you can love. It's not a bad thing. You are not less. You are not weak. You are not less anything because you chose to love somebody or because you can't stop loving the person. No. But then you can live with all the love you've got. Loving from afar is not overrated. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to stop loving the person, and it's not in the way you want to. Okay? You can actually walk away and know that you still love this person. You really do. But you guys are just not going to be sharing that same space anymore. Next, remember that there is always a Joshua. When Moses did stuff and God was mad at him and told him he was going to die, there was already a Joshua there. Because sometimes I feel like we are scared to leave because we feel like nobody else can be that person for us. We feel like we cannot find another person who is going to love us, who is going to care about us like that. But then the thing is, you never know. You never know if you don't leave, because if your cup is too full, you can't put fresh water there. And that's the truth. So you need to turn out and empty out, empty yourself out for God to fill you up, to fill you with stuff. So for the right people to walk in, the wrong people need to walk out, or you need to walk away from the wrong people. So don't feel like there are nice people, there are wonderful people out there. Not everybody is going to be that person. You don't need to keep going around with that scar that everybody can be is going to be that person. Nobody else is going to be nice. Nobody else, no. But if you're in something toxic and you finally realize that you need to go, understand that they could actually be somebody else for you. Next, forgive them. And understand that you are not forgiving them for them. You are forgiving them for you because, well, two reasons. One, when you don't forgive, you also sin, because unforgiveness is a sin. So, and the person sins against you by hurting you, and you also sin against the person by not forgiving the person. So in other words, both of you sin. And before God, sin is sin. So when if God needs to punish for sin, then both of you are going to be punished. Okay, no, but I'm not saying forgive because God's going to punish you and all of that. No, my point is, it's still a sin. Unforgiveness is a sin. That's one. And two, not forgiving is actually doing you great harm. Great harm. You need to let that person go. Sometimes I feel like I can't forgive because if I forgive, I let go of my power. I want to remain hurt. I want to stay there and be hurt. I want to be mad at the person. I want to have all that hurt because I feel like having all that hurt in me makes me have the power. Like, you hurt me, I want to be hurt so that I kind of have the upper hand. But then I was killing myself because couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't do certain things. I really, forgiveness is something that I don't do easily. I can't relate to people who just say it's cool, we're good. Forgiveness is really tough for me. It's actually hard work for me, and I've never been able to forgive somebody outside the presence of God. Literally, the people I've had to forgive in life, I've done it while praying. During my prayer time, I go to the Holy Spirit, talk about it, and I verbalize, I vocally forgive them. I say out loud, I call the person's full name, that XYZ, I forgive you in the name of Jesus. I say it all out there in the presence of God, and I know that the Holy Spirit is there and is listening to me. So when I say I've forgiven, then I better mean it. I better act like this. And you may not feel like you have forgiven initially, but believe it, know that you made a decision to forgive the person, so you're going to act like that. Okay, you all don't mind anything but love. The Bible didn't say you should be everybody's friend. In fact, the Bible warns against friendship. Bible tells us to be careful with our friends. Bible has all that warning, all those advice and all of that about friends and being careful with your friends. So the Bible does not even tell us to be friends with everybody. You don't have to be everybody's friend because you are a Christian. You just have to love everybody, and you don't have to be friends with everybody you love. Okay, you just have to be cordial. with them and live at peace with them. Okay, so you can actually walk away and you can actually forgive the person. All right, and then finally, I'm just going to say it doesn't have to be mutual. Like sometimes we feel guilty when we walk away and the other person isn't ready to let us go. You can't, the thing is, you can't love a person from an unhealthy place. You can't love somebody when you are not healthy, when you've lost your sense of worth, and you can't. It's you just whatever is coming out from you is toxic. It's not exactly love, it's toxic. There's toxicity there. You can't love a person from a place of illness. So if you're emotionally sick, then you need to go. And other person doesn't necessarily have to agree with you. You guys don't have to shake hands and be like, okay, we have a deal, we're walking away. If you guys can do that, it's fine. But you guys don't have to. Okay, you don't have to. And also you don't have to do it in a hurtful manner, except you have to do it in a hurtful manner. Point is, you can do it. You can do it alone. You can walk away alone. And then the Holy Spirit is there to help you. The Holy Spirit is there to heal you. The Holy Spirit is there to comfort you. And it's okay to be alone for a while and be healthy. Be good. Isolate yourself. Be good. Be healthy. And then come out and then mix again. It's okay. But finally, it doesn't just have to be something you do in one day. It's a process. And you're going to get there. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please click on that subscribe button below and hit the bell as well, so that you would know when I put up new videos. All right, so till I come your way next time, I guess this is bye-bye.